Welcome back to Nick Lenz Comic Corner Classics, Less Known Classics. This is episode number 2031 and Doubleshot number 1925. This is discussing volumes 8 and 9 of Saban's Go Go Power Rangers, Necessary Evil Part 2 and 3. Now, these books cover roughly about 4 issues apiece, roughly the last 8 issues of the series. And what do these two trades cover per se? Well, here's the cover for the first trade. Mostly put, basically, we kind of set some stuff that you see explored in the main Power Rangers book per se. Now, you still have Ryan Parrott, who does basically who does issues 25, 28, that was co-written by Sonia Grace. This is an interesting name. Yes, the very same Sonia Grace, who I heard once put his foot in his mouth on Twitter. And this guy wrote Iceman. Yep. The artwork is done by Francisco Mandoria, who does 25-27. The last issue is done by Aurora Frisco. Yep. Now, we start out basically Tommy doing some training, and of course, basically, this flashback to Draken. There's the view from the morphing people, Morph Masters. Then, of course, there's a Zordon here. And then we have basically where you have Zed sparring with Godar. And then we have appearance by Serpentera. Yes, after we have the Rangers battling in the park, Serpentera show up. Yes, Serpentera. Making his first comic book first appearance in a comic book. I don't know if he appeared in a comic book prior to this one, but this is the first one I can think of. Battling putties. We see a brief cameo by the Bug. Yes, it was also the oozing statue. Yes, these are things from the show. The Bug, despite I think this is mostly set during early season 2, the Bug never made an appearance in season 2 that I can think of. No. So, yeah, where Tommy finishes training. And of course, you get transported. So you get transported in a very unusual way. So they get transported, of course they chat for a bit. And then we see Billy at Promethea. Just chatting away with Grace, and then we have some more so with Morph Masters. And mostly these people are here just to help, kind of in a way, lay the groundwork for the Omega Rangers. That's most what they're here for. And then we have a flashback to, presumably, and I'm guessing at this, probably during the saga, the Greenwood Evil saga. Yes, because you have Tommy having dinner with Repulsa. Yes. So basically, then you have him then you kind of basically get a sort of an explanation of how he becomes the White Ranger. He just goes to a temple, just meets up with, gets basically the White Tiger power by meeting Saban. And of course, at this point, he's not the Saban he knew. He's from another world. I am merely a sort of light. No sort of light. Zora sent me out here to collect a power source that turned back to Ranger, and I'm guessing that's it. So what do you say? Can I take it with me? I see you get past me, the light is yours. Yep, and then of course you have a sparring match with him. Yes, Tommy is fighting a talking sword. Ranger. Say viewers. That's not. I just want to prove myself. But your actions have already proven exactly who you are. I'm well aware of your accomplishments, Green Ranger. If you wish to witness your legacy, Tommy, simply look into the light. So, you see like a flash of Lord Draken, if fighting him again. And of course, more so with Morphin Masters. And then we have one of the creatures from the actual show. Yes, I remember this thing popped up in season 2. I think it's before everyone got switched out. So we had a little morphing fight this creature. Tommy fights the whole thing with this, and then we have Zed pop up. Yes, Zed is here. Now here's the thing. In the show itself, they never really give an explanation of where the white power came from. Here they give sort of an explanation. Basically, Tommy was basically went on a quest, found it, met Saban, though it was a white tiger here. Eventually, after taking on Zed, who basically is here, so he apparently takes. He apparently turns Sab. He takes Sab with him, though don't worry, he gets him back. They apparently created a dark Saba. And it turns out it was all just an illusion. A test. And he has proven himself. Yep, and he gets the Ranger suit. He morphs. We have repairs done on Tommy. I think it's Jason's Phoenix. I think it repairs in the Zords, which is interesting. We don't really see the Zords get repaired very much in this series. Yeah, this very rarely ever happens. Yeah, very rarely ever happens. Seeing like them in this doc, because normally they just randomly pop up on screen. That's not how they're depicted. So mostly put basically getting more masters and basically a way to have. Excuse me. We have something we saw on the show, which was basically the scene we saw the white light 2-parter. We saw pretty much was the ending. We have Rangers talking to Zordon, though the outfits are a little different, and then we have Tommy show up like this. And yes, this did happen in the show. So basically, we're bringing up the show itself. New beginning. Though I at least gotta praise him for this. I at least gotta praise Ryan Prayer for this. He has not used the dialogue to use in this scene because apparently I think when I heard that the line where basically where Jason was happy the fact that Tom became new leader of the team, that was basically stock footage from what I heard. I'm not really sure if that was the reason why. So they take out the monster. Of course, see the debut of the Tiger Zord, where it basically merged with the other Zords. Fights this creature. And then we start seeing a relationship between Tommy and Kimberly. A relationship that would end in Zeo. Yes. So Zach, Kimberly, and Trini basically, they plan on basically leaving. So they gave excuses. Basically, they're going to a peace conference. So then we have Rita in the past. And there's stuff with basically like looks like possibly no, it's not Rita. I'm not sure who this is. Basically some alien creature. And we see sort of a basically first period of SWAT. Interesting. Like born on a planet. It's like kind of basically the backstory of how Rita formed her gang. Yeah, of course, Babu just gets it. He was basically a king. And we have this sort of stuff here with this woman here with red hair. Is she related to something related to, it was have a Godar? So apparently I think the red hair is supposed to be Rita. This is basically, we have the Eye Guy show up here. Yes, Eye Guy. Yeah, remember him from the show? Yeah, he actually is from the show. Here he is in flashback. So Rita basically means sort of a younger, older version of stuff. Not really sure what that was. So, but then we have supposedly them coming through time. Then we have sort of basically a mild mention of basically Godzilla versus Power Rangers, possibly. Doesn't go much anywhere. But yeah, that is basically that's volume 8. Now on to the final volume of the trade series, volume 9. Yeah, so this basically covers issues 29 to 32 of the final 4 issues of the series. So we just have more stuff here. We have basically Tommy's first days as the White Ranger. Yeah. And we pretty much have them basically do the whole peace conference thing. And even though they don't really go to the peace conference, they basically go to space to become Omega Rangers. Yeah. Basically, in the way these last 2 issues are here just to set up the basically them be Omega Rangers, which is kind of explored also in the pages of Mighty Morphin. So you could say definitely that the whole point of this book is basically just set before the events of some stuff in Mighty Power Rangers. So they go to space. Now, here's the thing. Did we see the passing the torch ceremony? Well, is that in the book per se? Well, we're going to find out. Morphing Call, still, like, we have various stuff going on here. Lots of monster battles. And then we see a dagger. Yes, a dagger. A green dagger. So after having these three go off to space, do various other stuff here. Maybe monster battles later. And then we see Serpentera. Excuse me. Yep, Serpentera. Appearing in issue 30, then we have it basically destroying a whole planet. And then we have basically a reference to, well, this basically is the sword. The sword, this is actually from another episode. This happened just not long afterwards. So here we reference the events of, I think it's Pass the Torch as a quick two-parter. That removes people from the removes Jason, Trini, and Zach from the team, and replace it with Rocky, Aisha, and Adam. Sword of Light, that's what's called, Sword of Light. So I think it's called the power transfer they get this, so we have to find a replacement. So we kind of basically deal with that. And then we have the power transfer ceremony here, which, yes, this also happened to show too, though the show is like, oh, sword, it's like sword there, and then they have three there. Here they actually have a good build up to it. Here it just happens like, oh, trans power, bye, oh, peace conference. Yeah, that's the treat of the show. Although I have heard the reason why they left. Those three left because of money. Yep. So they all go bye-bye, and of course they also let the Mega Power Ranger stuff. They fight the Eye Monster. And we have the beginnings of the Omega Rangers. Yep, the Omega Rangers. And basically kind of deal with status quo here. And the thing ends basically split screen. Go. And, well, then it leads into, well, basically the split series of Mighty Morphin and Power Rangers. Yes. Yeah, and that's pretty much it when it comes to Saban's Go-Go Power Rangers. Yeah, these two trades here just cover us basically some ground we explore in Season 2 Mighty Power Rangers. Which where they cover it. And, yeah, it's something, though, that this is interesting, though, the fact that Mighty Power Rangers managed to last a little bit longer than this did. Yeah, apparently Nestle basically killed the series. Now, I'm not really sure why the series had to end for, because if you think about it, mostly, but this book was basically just filling a big gap before the events of the main series. Because the main series, when it started off, it was basically set right after the Green Ranger saga. This book picks up right after the pilot episode. And most of a lot of the early issues before Shutter Grid just basically filled some gap between episodes. This, and then later on this book, basically Necessary Evil, this is mostly set during Season 2 with flashbacks during Season 1, which I do appreciate that. I do think it's awesome that we actually covered like a few episodes, like White Light. We actually explore of how the heck Tommy got his freaking powers, his White Ranger powers, and the Sword of Light two-part. We explore that too here, which I think what it did here is great. I think this book basically handled a lot better than the TV show. That is my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. Yep. My final thoughts on Saban's Go-Go Power Rangers. Damn good series. It's a shame the book got canceled after 32 issues. Of course, got replaced with simply Power Rangers per se, which continued the Omega Ranger stuff. My guess is probably the reason why that Boom Studios ended this book, because I highly doubt it was due to sales. I'm sure the sale was doing great for Boom Studios. It's just that I guess some people just wanted to move forward instead of basically explore stuff before the events basically we have the main book. So let's just basically take the Mega Ranger concept, which was basically introduced in Power Rangers, and basically have an explanation of why those three left the team in book, because in this show it's like, oh, they go to the peace conference, and then they're never seen again. In the case of the three, Trini herself never returned to the show. Zach, to my knowledge, never returned to the show. Jason did several times. He returned for Zio 2 years later. Then he returned for the Tur movie. And after that, nothing until the February episode, which is really good. And after that one episode, he wasn't singing it for almost 20 years on Power Rangers until he popped up in the episode Beast Morphers, or apparently it looks like his face has got a little bit thicker. I'm not really sure what happened with him. Apparently he retired to become a paramedic, from what I heard. So he comes back for the Dinosaur Tribute, where they have all three Dino Ranger teams. Mighty Morphin, Dino Thunder, and Dino Charge team up to take on. And he has a joke, basically. This is so funny. Where it's like, oh, it's like Serpent Terror with 3 heads. Oh my gosh, it's so funny. That particular one. But yeah, and sadly, the reason why Tina Trang, the actress, never came back, why she didn't come back to the show, because I think it was just not even like 6-7 years later, in 2001, she died in a car crash. She was the first Ranger to pass away. And for the longest time, she was the only Ranger to be no longer alive until what happened this year with Jason and Frank, where he commits suicide at the age of 49. I mean, heck, he was only about 15 years older than I am, which is, to come think of it, yes. I had heard he was suffering from depression. I admire what he did on Power Rangers. I've seen all of his appearances that he's made on the series. And I think it was a shame what happened to him. Yes, I think it was. I think he should get help. I think suicide probably was, and this is my opinion anyways. If you want to deal with depression, get help. He probably should have got help. That's just my opinion. He should not basically just did what he did. That's just my opinion. Anybody else have other opinions about what happened with Jason and Frank? But the guy was a great actor. Yeah, his role as Tommy basically will live on in everybody's memories. People will love watching Tommy on screen. Yes, knowing the fact he's no longer alive. Sadly. Yep. But yeah, that's pretty much it for particular review. Next up is Spy X Family. I'm going to do 2 straight episodes in two separate videos. The next one's going to cover, like, what I'm going to do 1 episode, then another Comic Corner to do the very next episode, and go straight to Case Closed after that. Okay, next video. Bye.